I love democracy. I love the Republic.
The main thing is to protect these characters, make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them, and that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
There comes a time in a YouTuber's life when they have to make amends for saying something stupid and jumping the gun in a knee-jerk reaction, and this is one of them. Yesterday I did a video which I deleted with the wrong information, and the information was WDW Pro made a comment to one of his subscribers in a chat that George Lucas was sick and dying. I mean, that's the paraphrase. He didn't say it. So that detail was wrong. Somebody else on his panel did. Period. And that never should have even crossed their lips. And the problem I have is, while I apologize for getting the detail wrong, there's still the outstanding, why the hell are you saying that when you're not connected to this man? Question. Look, last year, we were told by somebody who's bat crap cray that Kathleen Kennedy had breast cancer. We never said a word. I asked questions. I put it out there under the radar, but I never actually made a video on it. I never said it out loud, I don't think, and if I did, it was under the title of, this is not something we really talk about here. You just don't do that, okay? Let me explain why you don't do that with George Lucas. Jet Lucas is on the internet. His daughter, who should have taken over Lucasfilm, is on the internet. He has a 10-year-old daughter, okay? All right, and let me give you an analogy. When Andrew Breitbart died, he had a heart attack late at night outside of a restaurant. He just turned bright red and collapsed. And it was speculated, and it's still rumored, that he was murdered. Now, there's a reason why you can't just go out there and say stuff like that. And it's because there's a family, and it's unethical to do it, okay? And with George Lucas, he's got a family. You know, he has been diabetic his whole life, but that doesn't mean you can't live a full life. I think people, look, let me think this. My mother-in-law is 86, and she's diabetic. And she could kick anybody's ass. She drives, she goes to movies, we go out to lunch, we hang out together, and it's one of those things where when I turn 86, I hope I have her energy. Diabetes is not a death sentence. It's basically you manage what you put in your mouth. And if you end up having to take insulin to keep your blood sugar balanced, then that's what you have to do, okay? You'd be surprised how many people are actually diabetic, all right? It is not, you're going to die from it. The only thing I can say is my oldest brother died from it because he didn't manage it. When you don't manage it, then you're in a place where bad things can happen. And the rumor that George was in ill health when he sold Lucasfilm is not true. His wife had just had a baby that he wanted to spend time with. He could not get Marin County to give him permits to expand Lucasfilm. And it's, that's what happened. People like to blame the fans. Maybe that was part of it. I, however, don't think so. It had more to do with he was getting sick and tired of the bureaucracy. I mean, have you ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark at the end, where Indy's bitching about the bureaucrats? Well, there you go. That's George Lucas right there. Okay, that's why I sold Lucasfilm. All right, he's been diabetic his whole life. This is not something that he can't manage. He's been managing it for 79 years. Okay, so the idea that he's in ill health and dying. I mean, I could get philosophical and say, the moment we're born, we're dying. Okay. If we wanted to wax philosophical, but I don't want to do that. So we need to be careful about what we say, and have to understand is that when you make assumptions like that, or when you say something that, in lots of ways, in my opinion, was just rotten to say, it is the podcast, the owner of the channel's responsibility to shut that discussion down. Okay? Which I would have. I think anybody in their right mind would have. Okay, God knows where it came from. Did it just come off the hook, or did it come from a bitter, malicious source? We don't know. It could be either. But I got the details wrong. I'm sorry. And, I am not into all this drama. And I take responsibility for pointing it out and getting the details wrong. And I'm sorry for that. However, there are things that need to be done to govern how one conducts their business on YouTube. And the problem I have with it is that it was put out there. No one said anything to say, hey, what are you talking about? It was just there. And to me, if you want a legit reputation, you can't do that, okay? So I'm sorry I pointed it out. I'm sorry I called Pro out for saying something he didn't. But still, it was there. It was said by somebody else on the panel, okay? And it is something bothersome, and it's not right to talk about things if you don't have the facts, especially facts like that. And also, in my opinion, if it was true, you shouldn't talk about it anyway. It's disrespectful and kind of morbid. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.